So here we are at the end of turn two of Kernstown from Revolution Games Scenario 3, the Stonewall is Aware scenario. And like I said, end of turn two. The Confederates' plan was to attempt to take Pritchard's Hill, knock the Union off. They'd get victory points for that every turn, and the Union would be denied victory points every turn. This was a pretty darn good turn for the Confederates. Garnett was able to come up and just whack some Kimball regiments that were out in front of the hill. Just did a massive close combat that just really was painful to a few of Kimball's brigades. In an interesting twist over here, let's see, you can see it, yep. Let's see, who was it? It was Burke's brigade was over here facing Sullivan, and they got a little cocky and decided to go ahead and do an attack against this one unit, the 13th Indiana. So they ganged up. I think I had 3 guys around here. So, or maybe at least 2, but there was 2 people in this stack. So it was a pretty good stack. You know, their morale is 4 on the other side. I mean, they were looking good. They have the advantage in close combat of having the smoothbore muskets, and Sullivan was just incredible. This 13th Indiana was incredible. He ended up just whacking him. I think it was on the. It ended up being a close fight, and then the roll was pretty high numbers. So these guys ended up breaking, or not break. Taking a couple of morale hits, flipping, and then it was a panic. And I think the other guy, because he ran, the other guy was then part of the panic. Oh no, I know what it is. I had a confidence hit, I think it was. So as soon as he won this close combat in defense, there was only one guy left against him because other guys had broken and run. He immediately followed that successful defense up with his own close combat. That the confident chin is awesome. I mean, that's what a great gameplay invention. To tell a story of you just survived a close combat as the defense, and you're feeling so good now that you routed the attackers that you're going to go on the offensive and go back after them. So anyway, he did a close combat against that one unit that was left from the attackers, and he ended up doing really well. And as you can see, this guy took a couple of morale hits and flipped also. So the 13th Indiana has been the bright shining star for the Union this turn. Garnett, ended up being able to sweep all the way up to the foot of Pritchard's Hill. I was able to have this Pritchard unit here come up under the artillery unit, but then unfortunately we rolled and got the wayward Union movement shit, and the Confederates had the 84th Pennsylvania wander back down off the hill. So that defense there didn't last long. Tyler, unfortunately, who's still off map, he was supposed to come on as reinforcements this turn. He failed to activate, so I don't know exactly what was happening. Maybe he's taken a nap up in Winchester or whatever, but he did not join the fight like he was supposed to. So that was disastrous because Tyler is the big, huge reinforcement coming on board that can kind of save the Union's bacon. So the fact that he didn't get on turn 2 is huge. Other than that, I think that's about where we stand. Fulkerson didn't activate, so that was a plus for the Union. Ashby didn't activate. That was another plus. So that pretty much barely saved them. The fact they didn't activate. Broadhead didn't activate either. So a lot of units didn't activate, but the ones that did were pretty amazing. Garnett was just swept the field, and the the fact that Sullivan held here, specifically the 13th Indiana, was just fantastic. In fact, if I can, he's such a wild card, but if I can get him going next turn, and again, I'm using the variant scenario, so in order to activate him, I only have to roll a 3, not a 1, which helps a lot. But if I can get him going next turn, he could possibly come up and hit Garnet in the flank, hopefully before Garnet storms the hill and takes the victory location. So it's definitely going to be bloody around the hill next turn, and I'll check in with you then.